everybody, welcome to my channel, The 5 Faces. My name is Karen, and if you are new, welcome, and if you are not, thank you so much for coming back. So today I'm going to start something that I wish I had when I started doing fostering. So I thought I'm gonna start a little series of different videos. I look at research, and I got a lot of information, but I didn't get those little things that you learn with experience, you know. Those are my kiddos in the background. I have two right now. Two are out and the bigger ones are in school, so I'm going to try to do this as fast as I can before the other two get home. So let me give you a little bit of background. I do this with my husband. We have been foster parents for a little over 2 years, active 2 years. So we just renew our license because you have to renew it, at least here in Arizona, every 2 years. My longest placement, 1 year, they're still with me. As of now, I have 7 kids, 4 fosters and 3 biological kids. I have a list per se. So I'm not gonna say 1, 2, 3 because I'm just gonna tell you, because this is kind of like when you don't know if you want to do it, when you're still on the fence, how do I start? And the first thing you're always gonna have to do is find an orientation. Usually around your area they always have an orientation. They have many different places. They even have it in Spanish, so they have it in 2 languages as of now, at least again here in Arizona. They have one in Spanish and they have one in English. So the orientation is the first thing you're gonna do. Well, they will give you a paper, they will give you a list, they will give you a little insight of what to expect is the thing. Not even close to what's coming, but they're gonna give you an idea of what you're getting into. This is the main thing. Especially if you have biological kids, it's like, well, are your kids alright with it? Are you sure? Have you talked to them? Which is the first thing I will tell you. Talk to your kids. Even if you're thinking about adoption, by the way, I would totally recommend doing this first. If you go through fostering, is easier, not easy, just easier, because considering you already did all the work, like background checks, home studies, and life inspections, and you're halfway there. Let's put it like. Okay. Now the downside is you can fall in love with a kid, and at the end of the day you cannot adopt that kid. That kid gotta go back. The first month, by the way, is what foster parents call the honeymoon period. It can last a few weeks, it can last a few days. There is such thing as the honeymoon period, where they're new, where they want to do everything good because you're so nice to them, and because they really want to do good. After you do that orientation, you are ready to pick an agency. This is the part where you the one to pick, when it's your decision, when they're gonna come to you. This is the part where you are going to feel really important, because everybody's gonna wanna talk to you. So you're gonna call a few numbers, you're gonna leave a few messages, and then they're gonna call you back like that because they want to work with you. Now, picking an agency, I would say, again, Google it. Google the names, go to their websites, read reviews, and if you can find much, convenience. I always go with convenience. In this case, I picked the closest. So I was looking for an agency that offered the training classes, because not all agencies offer the training classes. I was looking for proximity to my house, so I wanted something in my area. I was looking for, obviously, a good agency, like the people saying is a good agency, many of them, and you can call as many as you want. You can talk to people, get the feeling, you know. Sometimes just the receptionist, and I will call and they were so rude. I'm like, what can I expect, you know? And sometimes they were really friendly, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're suddenly super good because their receptionist is good. It's just, I guess, the vibe. It's all about the vibe you get, you know? And if you made a mistake, hey, feel free to change agencies. Yes, you can do that. Anyway, that is the second step. And then after that, you're going to schedule your training classes. At the time, we had to do 10 weeks, and we had to go to the place, and we had to do it together. Those were the requirements. I heard now they changed. They have hybrid school, so you can do some online and some you have to go, which is great. You already decided to do this, so you're going to start the training classes. You should be starting to prepare for the life inspection. So prepare for your age range. With, let's say you have 3 to 5 years old. Let's say you have toddlers, then you gotta have toddler beds. Let's say you have babies, then you gotta have a crib. You already have the locks, and by the way, I have a video of life inspection if you're interested. So you already have to be preparing for the weeks. You can take days. After that, then obviously, right, you get the life inspection. After you pass the life inspection, they can call you as soon as the next day. I'm not even joking. They call me 2 days later. They can call you as soon as the next day because you are officially clear. As soon as they put clear on you, a bed is open, and if a kid comes out that night, they call you. Especially if you have a sibling group. Let's say if you have many beds because you're getting a sibling group, like in my case, they will call you faster because they have really hard time finding beds for a sibling group. Then by now you gotta have an idea what age groups do you want in your house. They go from 0 to 17. We have 3 age range. I have 0 to 10. I wanted little ones on school age. I didn't want to deal with teenagers because I still have little kids. I still have my 4-year-old, and I didn't want to deal with that. So those are the things you have to consider. If you have biological kids, you have to be really careful with your age range. Please be really careful with your age range because these kids come with different backgrounds, different behaviors, and many times you wouldn't even know. To tell you one thing from all of this, from all my experiences, if I have to say one thing to a new foster parent or somebody that's considering doing this, I'll say this: you have to be prepared for the worst. You have to be prepared for the worst stories. You have to be prepared for the worst kids. You can't expect, oh, I'm gonna have a 3-year-old, he's gonna be a sweetheart. They're so little, they just kids. No, that was my mistake. I have been babysitting for more than 10 years. And I can tell you that I dealt with many different types of kids. And I always used to think, oh, well, they're just kids. There's no such thing as a bad kid. Which there's not. It's just bad behaviors. Because unfortunately, that's all they know. If you are in this for the money because, I don't know, maybe you're thinking some extra income now that you're home and you can take care of some kids. No. You gotta want to. You really gotta want to. You gotta have that will. That's the word. And even then, have in mind, this just might not be for you. You wanna try it? Go ahead. But please, don't see it as a failure. I mean, just because it didn't work for you doesn't mean that you're a failure. It's a job that you're gonna do with every single bone in your body because you want this to work, but it is a job. And I'm not saying that because they're paying you. I'm saying it is a job because that's the only way you're gonna get through this. Because if you fell in love with that little kid, and after 1 year, they realize, oh well, we're just gonna give them to a family member, you know, because I'm nobody, and they have families. So suddenly a family member appear and they have to go, and that's my case, that they have to go. You have to do this. You have to get into this thinking that you're doing a job, and you're doing an amazing job, but it is a job indeed. You are doing a job that not everybody wants to do, and not everybody does it right, because that there's no right and wrong. There is a right and wrong. A right is treat them good, treat them with respect, do what you have to do. A wrong is treat them like they're nothing, treat them like they're worthless, treat them pretty much as a little doggy got into your house, and no, that's the wrong. So there is such thing as a right and wrong. Now everybody has their own ways. Totally agree with that. But there is such thing as a right and wrong. And if you're getting into this, just remember it's a job and try to do it as best as you can. And it's impossible not to love these kiddos. I mean, you are going to love them. So are the kids that if you ever babysat, do you get to love the kids that you babysat and you knew they were going home? Think like that. I'm just trying to, again, I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. I'm just trying to give you tips of things that might help. Not necessarily they will help, it might help. I hope this helps somebody. If it helps one person, I did my job. Remember that this is not for everybody. Are you giving it a try? You're amazing, because just to think about helping a little kid, again, you're just amazing. Just because